This is Towing the Rubber. My name's Devon Alsman,
I'm Johnny Clumpy.
and today we have a full thing to talk about. We got 4 topics today to talk about what we're doing. It's going to be very exciting to talk about all these things. First, we got our Cubs that we're very excited to talk about. It's our favorite team for both of us. We'll talk about all the position battles that are happening for them. Then we'll go ahead and talk about another lockout possibly coming in 2026 offseason, which we might have to cover next year, sadly. We'll talk about the spring training notes around the other 29 teams, and then we'll finish it off with injuries that have happened with all 30 teams throughout the league. And during that last segment, we'll have Brennan Gagan join us as well to sit down and talk with us.
Yep.
So we got a full show, but we first go ahead and talk about the position battles the Cubs are going to have to do. Do you want to start with the bench, the starting rotation, or the bullpen?
I think starting rotation.
Starting rotation. So in my mind, there is 5 guys that is possible to be in the starting rotation for the Cubs. It is between Ben Brown, Javier Assad, Brad Keller, Cody Petit, Jordan Wicks. Assad's not going to be ready for opening day, though, due to oblique. So it's between Brown, Keller, Petit, and Wicks.
Well, Petit's a no.
Petit is a no. I just don't like his stuff. It just doesn't look good. Because Brown's on an inning limit
If
this year.
if Assad won't be ready by opening day, I think Jordan Wicks is the guy.
Now, I want to argue that and say Brad Keller. I like Wicks and stuff, but I kind of want to see Brad Keller and see what he can do. Because in 2 spring training games, he's thrown 3.2 innings, 0 ERA, 3 strikeouts. He's hit a 98 when he faced the Dodgers, and his stuff was looking good. He was getting strikeouts looking with his fastball, and it just seemed very fluid to me. And I think Brad Keller's who I want to pick. Wicks isn't a bad pick. It's just he wasn't healthy at all last year. So he's probably also on an innings limit. So if Petit's a no, Brown and Wicks are on innings limits, then Keller's the guy.
I mean, if we don't know for sure, and Brad Keller hasn't really had an average MLB season since 2020. Like that was the last time he was even average.
But you got there's this new guy, not Carlos Zambrano. The new pitching coach they signed from Tread Athletics, Zombro. Tyler Zombro to help with the Cubs, and he said he really likes Keller's spin on his fastball. He's top 4 in spinning his fastball. So the more spin you put on the ball, it causes more movement and velocity normally. So, and that's why he got two of his strikeouts against Dodgers were looking, because he has just such a weird look to his fastball. His fastball spin is like up there with like Dylan Cease and stuff.
I know that. If Wicks isn't on an inning limit, I think he's just like the best option. I think Assad, if he was healthy, would be the best, because no matter, even if all of his underlying numbers look bad, he puts up good real stats.
His floor's high, his ceiling is about as high as his floor, though.
Who, Wicks or Assad?
Assad.
Yeah, but his
Wicks
floor
has
has been like a 3.5 his entire career.
I know, but he kind of gets lucky.
Care.
He kind of gets lucky.
Yeah, but if you get lucky and it's not like it was half a season where he got lucky. He's done it for 2
years and got him lucky for 2 years.
Been good. Like if you're putting up numbers that if you're putting up these types of numbers and consistently being able to stay at the numbers, regardless of what the underlying number says, the actual thing that's happening on the field, I value more than the underlying stats that haven't proved to be true yet. I'm for advanced stats, and I do not think they have a place in the game. But it gets to a certain point where you have to value the actual numbers that a guy's putting out. So if my number one option would be Javier Assad, but if he's not ready by opening day, then I would choose Jordan Wicks.
All right. Well, I'm Brad Keller than Jordan Wicks.
I also like Ben Brown.
I like Brown. He's just on an innings limit. I don't think you have him start for 2 months and then move him in the bullpen. I think you just start him in the bullpen.
Yeah, I do like Ben Brown, though. So because he was good last year. Yeah, I liked seeing him in the majors last year.
Head and just go to pitching again. Relief pitchers. I think there's one relief spot left for the Cubs, and it's going to be between 10 different guys. It's a lot of different players, a lot of different names. Some are on the 40-man, some aren't. It's Caleb Killian, Julian Merriweather, Keegan Thompson, Luke Little, Jack Neely, Daniel Palencia, Ethan Roberts, Brandon Hughes, Chris Flexen, and Phil Bickford are the 10 possibilities I see. That could be the last guy in the bullpen. We each have our top 3. We can go ahead and go our thirds, our seconds, and then who we have as first. So you want to go, who out of these 10 is your third guy?
Luke Little, because I know you would have picked him for sure, but he's hurt. But I still think he has decent enough stuff. I'm not as high on him as you are, but I know you have a more just connection with him as you followed him since the minor leagues and stuff. But I would pick him as my third. I just throws hard. He's struggled at times, but
he has the highest potential out of these 10.
Yeah.
It's just I'm doing it for the Tokyo series, which reliever's getting it, and Little's not going to be ready for it, so that's why I'm not including him. But obviously, like you said, I have followed this guy since he was drafted. This is the only guy I've paid attention to, what he did with the Pelicans, what he did with the South Bend Cubs. This is the only guy I've really cared what he did in the minors, because I saw him throw 105 in college, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. My third guy is Julian Merriweather, another guy that can throw 100. He had a down season last year with a 6+ north of 6 ERA, but he was injured throughout times last year, I think, and then when he was with us in 23, he was very good. I think if he can get back to that, and this spring so far he has 2 strikeouts, 2 innings, no earned runs. Velocity I can't see for spring training because most of the teams don't have the speed on the scoreboard, so we'll have to see what he's clocking at other ways, but I think he's the third guy.
My second would be Brendan Hughes. I know you're going to talk about him a lot, and I'll let you cover more later. Okay. I know he's one of yours, but I think he's another good option. He's just not my one, because my one has put up pretty good numbers in the majors his entire career. In the 1 year he didn't. He was the least amount of innings he threw, so I'll get to him when we talk about number ones. But I do like Brendan Hughes, and I think he's a very good option for the bullpen.
My number 2 guy is, I believe, the only prospect still, in the top 30 for Cubs wise, because all these other guys are graduated that are still young. Jack Neely, he was in the trade with the Yankees and for sending Leiter Jr., and we got back Jack Neely and Cowles. In that trade, Jack Neely, 2 games so far this spring, 4.5 ERA, 2 innings, 3 Ks. He has good stuff. 4.5 ERA. I didn't exactly see how he let it up, but I know it wasn't a home run that he let up. And at the same time, Neely's probably pitching when all the backups are in for defensively. So, maybe it's different if Swanson... we'll talk about for bench guys, but Bruhan at second possibly. And all those better defensive guys than these minor leaguers. So Neely is my 2 guy because I think he has pretty high upside out of these 10.
My number 1 is Keegan Thompson, and I talked about him a little bit, but I mean, every year he's been in the majors, he's been above average, at least WAR-wise, and he had 2.67 last year, was only in 30 innings, but the worst year of his career was the year that he threw the least amount of innings in. So other than that, he's been at least below a 3.7 or below his entire career, and always been a positive WAR player. So,
I mean, I like Thompson. It's just it feels like they're just kind of pushing him out at this point. I don't. For some reason, the Cubs just don't like him. It seems.
Well, it's just like this is who I'd choose, obviously.
And then my 1 is Brendan Hughes. He's one of 2 lefties out of the 10 guys I named. The other guy, Luke Little, but like I said, I'm not going to include him due to injuries. Brendan Hughes, the lefty, he would be the second lefty in the Cubs bullpen with Caleb Thielbar. Hughes in 2 games has 2 innings pitched, no earned runs, 3 strikeouts. He's got a more sidearm motion to him. So I think we need a lefty, especially for the Tokyo series. Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy. The list goes on and on for that team. Michael Conforto. So, like, you got all those lefties for Dodgers specifically. I think you need more lefties than Caleb Thielbar.
Yeah.
So, I think Hughes has got a chance due to him being a southpaw.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense.
Now we got the bench. I had 4 guys. The thing is, next week when I get these graphics up for our show, I might need to add a 5th guy, sadly. As much as I don't want to. Due to the fact that the 5th guy that I was debating putting on here hit a home run yesterday to make it so the Cubs still have not lost a spring training game. They tied yesterday, so they are still 6-0. Greg Allen hit a homer, 2-run shot yesterday. So I might have to include him next week on our bench. We'll see what he does going till our next show next Thursday. But the 4 guys I do have, we got Gage Workman, Nicky Lopez, Vidal Brujan, Travis Jankowski. Yeah. Out of these 4, who do you want?
Probably Workman, just because it's like it's a different look than like guys who've already been in the majors, and I know I I talked with the relievers about major league success, but also Vidal Brujan wasn't good. Nicky Lopez has struggled in recent years, and then I don't feel like the Cubs need another like just straight outfielder like Travis Jankowski. Mm-hmm. Like we have 4 guys who can play the outfield well, we have 3. We have 3 really good guys, and then we have a guy we can stick out there, and he
2023.
According to the numbers, is not a liability. I hate him in the field, and the eye test looks terrible for Seiya Suzuki. But
did you see the one?
Like I've went into his his DRS and his outs above average are not terrible.
Like, did you see that one spring training game? I think it was against Dodgers, one of the first ones. The ball dropped in front of him. He fielded it and then gunned the guy out at home because he thought he had a tag out because Suzuki was going to catch it, and he gunned him at home. So like, it looks like a good play, but like, I think Tucker catches that in general. And then throws him out at home. So there's 2 outs instead of 1.
Yeah.
And then Suzuki's getting all these reps in right field. I don't think Tucker's played right field yet.
Well,
by the way,
he just takes terrible routes. His routes are terrible. He has way too many just like way easy drops. I mean, it's the 2023 drop against the Braves. So like that's been my thing. Like especially in 2023, I was with the team we had. I did not believe he should have started. Because we had a first baseman, Belly was playing first a lot.
Yeah.
But I was like, we can just put Belly in right field, and then...
I mean, that's what they did at the end of the year.
Oh, and then, okay, it was because they were DHing Morel. And I was like, put Morel at third.
No, don't put... No, that's Side's point.
No, deal with Morel at third. Because the only reason I believe that Chris Morel was such a bad defender was because the Cubs never allowed him to play one position. he would either DH or he would just get thrown at 4 different positions constantly, and he never really got to feel out of position. Put Candelario at first, and then I would have liked to see 3 Gold Glovers in the outfield. Okay, Talkman wasn't a Gold Glover, but he was like a solid defender.
Talkman got the job done.
It was very good in the outfield.
Yeah.
Put him in right, Bellinger in center, Happ in left, or Bellinger in center and Talkman in, or that's what I said, or Talkman in center and Bellinger in right. And that was the outfield I won in 2023. That was what I pushed for all of the August.
Yeah.
Once I was like, okay, Say is bad. Then Say made the drop, and then we went into last season, and he was still playing the field. And I was like, okay, this is dumb. Get him out of right field. Then more towards the end of the year, Council started DHing him a little bit, and then now obviously we have Kyle Tucker. But but that's also why I just don't think we need another outfielder, because I hate the eye test of Seiya Suzuki. He has a terrible outfield watch. Mm-hmm. It's his routes are horrific. That was one thing. I vividly remember a play against the Blue Jays. It was an Apple TV game where it's ball's going in the corner, and most major league outfielders, I believe, get to the ball and cut it off. But he let it to go all the way to the corner, and the guy got a triple off, and I was like, okay. That was when it started. I was like, okay, the eye test is terrible. Drops too many things. But statistically wise, he's fine in the field. So that's why I don't think we need Travis Janikowski, because the outfield's fine. Is Workman, because
Workman has had a rep in right field this spring. So
but
he can.
Can he play infield too?
He's third base.
Okay, so yeah, that's where it's especially if Shaw struggles, because I'd love to see Shaw, and that's what I want.
We'll talk about with injuries, but he might not make the Tokyo series.
Okay, but I'd love to see him at third, but obviously he's a rookie, so if things don't work out and he struggles a little bit and you don't trust him at third, get another option there. And obviously it's fine if Workman plays the field, but Janikowski is just a straight outfielder.
Yeah.
And that's not a position in need on the Cubs roster.
So you're saying Workman?
Yeah. Vidal Brujan just isn't good in the majors and Nicky Lopez has struggled the last couple of years.
I've been thinking Workman, but the Cubs have no Nico for the start of the season.
How long is Nico out?
For a little, I don't know. He won't make Tokyo. I know that for sure, but it's not fully known. I think 2 of these guys will make it due to injuries, but we'll just say 1 right now. Sammy Sosa's been in the dugout, helping the Cubs as well, which is fun. Vidal Brujan hit a homer the other day with Sammy Sosa's first day in the dugout, talking to Brujan, helping him and stuff. Brujan right now is hitting 250, 400 on base, 1 homer, 4 stolen bases. He can run. I know he's not been the best in the majors, but he can play all 4 or all 3 outfield positions and 3 of the 4 infield positions.
And that's where it's I'm fine keeping him, but if we could only choose one, I'd do Workman. I just would rather see Workman than...
Workman has higher upside, but at the same time, with these injuries, I don't think Workman plays second. Brujan can. Nicky Lopez can. Lopez has great stats right now in spring. He only played 4 games though, but at the same time, it's I think Brujan's over him still because of the speed and stuff. So I think I want to take Brujan right now, just due to the fact that we might need a second baseman because Shaw and Nico are both out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But in Tokyo series, it's very possible. You got third base Gage Workman, shortstop Dansby Swanson, second base Vidal Brujan, first base Michael Busch. Yeah. Against or actually, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to tell. We'll have to see. I think Brujan's switch hitter, isn't he? So, we'll see what they do with the Cubs and stuff. But next up, we got a potential another lockout coming to MLB next year during the off season. Before the lockout in what was it, it was before 22 season.
It was 22, yeah.
Before
because the World Series ended up being super late. It was weird.
Before the lockout happened, it was one of the most fun, exciting off seasons. Like, so much was happening, so much was getting done, and the lockout happened, and it sucked.
Yep.
It just, nothing happened for a while. It was just dragging on. Nothing can happen, and
well, it only pushed the season back a week because it started like April 7th.
Yeah.
And Nico Horner hit the first home run of the Major League season.
Spring training was shorter.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't fun. Nothing happened.
Yeah, the lockouts aren't cool.
And here's exactly why this is a topic. Because there's 5 guys that are being deeply affected due to the CBA thing. And more probably will happen in the future. 5 guys being Brandon Belt, who has not played since 2022. In OPS plus, if you have 100 OPS plus, that means you are league average. Brandon Belt had 138 OPS plus in 2022 for the whole season, and he hasn't played since 2022. He was 38 points better than the average hitter, and he hasn't had a job because of veterans, and just teams can say, we can pay a rookie league minimum who can do the same thing, but the can is a possibility, but teams are right now favoring the less money and hoping. So it's just dumb. The second guy, Tommy Pham, talked about this. I wish we had the clip ready and stuff, but on Foul Territory, he was talking about the CBA might need to be fixed, and he can't get into details about that, but veterans are getting mistreated and stuff because of how everything is. Jose Quintana and Dave Robertson are 2 pitching free agents still on the market who one had a good season, one had a great season. Quintana had 2.5 WAR, which is wins above replacement, so he had 2.5 wins added pretty much to the Mets.
Yeah.
And he was pretty good in the playoffs as well. The reason the Mets can't sign him because of the stupid Steve Cohen tax. And they're just penalizing these teams that want to spend and not making poor teams spend.
Yeah.
Or not poor. They're not poor. They're
smaller.
These
markets.
are all billionaires.
They're smaller
markets, but they're not poor.
To spend, yeah.
Especially since Steve Cohen and the Dodgers, those are the top 2, and the Yankees are all paying these other teams. And they are just pocketing that money instead of spending it. Steve Cohen, the reason why he can't sign like Quintana right now, because they have 2 injuries starting their starting rotation, is because if they give Quintana, say, $10 million, they're actually, it's like $21 million. Because of these luxury tax, they're at the highest threshold, so they have to pay like 105% of his contract.
Yeah.
So then that 10 mil is actually 21 mil. So 10 mil goes to Quintana, and then 11 million has to go to the rest of the league. So that's just a lot of money for Quintana.
Yeah.
So it's just dumb. He's good. David Robertson also was really good with the Rangers.
Yeah.
Same thing. He's still not signed. Spring training is now, like, the Cubs are playing in 18 days. So, like, it's just absurd that nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And then the last guy, a Cubs legend, kind of, Anthony Rizzo, he is getting these league minimum contracts, or just above league minimum, and he wants to play, but he doesn't want to make the market low for these veteran first baseman type guys. So he's thinking about the rest of the league when he's trying to make this, because if he takes $1 million, then next offseason, another team could, to same guy, you're older first baseman, similar stats to Rizzo, $1 million. Because Rizzo got $1 million, you should only get $1 million. So he doesn't want to set the market. So these 5 guys are showing that this new CBA stuff might need to happen, which is just kind of upsetting for the offseason, especially since the WBC is also next year. I don't know how that will work.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it will be a very chaotic off season that we will have to cover. or not. It could be quiet because nothing can happen. So who knows? But we can go ahead, go to the next topic unless you have anything about that CBA stuff.
I just wouldn't like to see a lockout. And also, I was going to say to your point about Rizzo, it sucks, but, like, to be fair, Rizzo has struggled.
But he had a concussion because of the Yankees not knowing what to do.
I know, but, like, he has struggled a little bit. And then in the struggling, he hasn't really been good since the middle of 2023. So it's hard to be like, I love Anthony Rizzo, too. I think he's a great human being, and I want him to be on the team. So I'm not, like, trying to diss Anthony Rizzo. But, like, there is a point where it's like when you've struggled for a year and a half, it's hard to be like, oh, we're going to go out and pay you a ton of money. Obviously, Rizzo.
I don't think $5 million is
That's also
a steep ask for a guy that can still give you Gold Glove defense.
Yeah, I'm not saying like
veteran.
Obviously, $1 million is bad, and he deserves more than that. But I'm also saying like there's a certain part of it where it's like he has struggled just because of the injuries.
Yeah, I'm not saying give him a multi-year deal.
I know.
Don't go 10 plus. Like, just give him 5 or 6.
I know.
And go from there. Our next topic, though, is spring notes. And we have, in this little topic, 8 things to cover. We'll go ahead and start off. Roki Sasaki faced the first non-Dodgers players the other day, and
was it in a game or was it like
it was like in the back? It was just in the backfields, and
yeah.
The Dodgers and White Sox share spring training complex. So a bunch of White Sox like guys went over. Most of them are names I don't know. One of them though, Kyle Teal, was a prospect in the Garrett Crochet trade, catcher, top prospect, and he went over in the Crochet deal, and he went over to face Sasaki and hit an absolute nuke off Sasaki. And afterwards, apparently he's gotten 1,000 more followers on Instagram since then.
That makes sense.
So apparently all you have to do is just beat Sasaki, and you can get a bunch of international followers.
It's more like you're beating the Dodgers. That's also true. I didn't think about the international aspect. But at least on the American side of things, it's like you hit a home run off the Dodgers. We hate the Dodgers right now.
But so no, I believe it's just international people like, oh my God, this guy just destroyed one of our best pitchers.
Yeah. That's also true.
But that Yoshinobu Yamamoto in the Seoul series got rocked against the San Diego Padres. And you know who's pitching in Tokyo? It is going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I'm not saying he's going to blow up. The second guy's Roki Sasaki, though. He just let up a homer to, yes, it is a top prospect. He's really good. Kyle Teal. Thing is, he's a prospect. So he hasn't faced the Blake Snells and all these top guys when you got Kyle Tucker, Seiya Suzuki. Those are like top 2 guys that have faced these top guys.
You keep saying this. It's going to be really funny when you jinx it and Rookie, like, though it's like a perfect game.
First off, he's getting maybe 4 innings. So that's why I know for sure he's not throwing a perfect game.
Okay. I know. But, like, you're going to jinx it so hard and he's going to go, like, 4 perfect. Like, he's going to go, like, 10 strikeouts in 4 innings. And and then you're going to sit there in this class at 10 in the morning and be like,
well, we'll be doing a live watch-along, most likely.
And we're going to do this live watch-along, and then Brendan's probably going to be in here with us. And
we'll all be here watching the game.
After he said all this about Roki, every time we talk about Roki, you're like, well, he's going to get blown up. He shouldn't start against the Cubs. Then he's going to start against the Cubs. I'm just saying, be careful. Because, like, obviously there's the history and that he allowed a homer. And obviously, I'd like the Cubs to win, but it's just going to be hilarious when it backfires on you. And then he goes for 4 innings of like 10 strikeouts, 0 earned runs, ball.
I will cry. I might cry on camera. I was very happy when Yoshinobu got lit up just because I wanted the Padres to win. And also, the Dodgers got this guy for 10 years, top guy. And then now they got Sasaki as well. So it's just, I hope he gets lit up. Next topic, Jeffrey Yan, Rockies. I don't know, have you seen his celebration?
I saw the clips.
He struck out the side, and he just will leap into the air, do like a big fist pump and stuff after he gets these strikeouts. He played in, I think, like the Mexico League for the last couple of years, and now he's with the Rockies, and he did this in the Mexican League. And I like the energy. I play baseball myself. In 3 weeks ago, when I did live BP, struck out 7 guys. And when you start getting these strikeouts and start this chatter between you and the batter, I know live BP is a little different than like spring training games, but they're kind of the same because they're not real, necessarily. But when you start, the pitcher starts saying stuff, the batter starts saying stuff, and then starts getting heated a bit. I like pitchers that do this because I kind of do it myself. I will get very happy when I get a strikeout, when I get something past you. And I think it's cool that this guy's really celebrating.
It's cool, like, because baseball's been a very non-celebratory sport for, like, a long time. Like, no emotion is allowed to be showed at all. Can't show emotion for a second. But it's changing, obviously, with the bat flips and stuff. Also, I know your live BP was against a bunch of 6th graders, so congrats to you for striking out 6th graders.
I did not strike out 6th graders.
I'm kidding, I know.
I did want to call someone out.
We faced real competition. Do not call anybody out. We do not need to be
Bodie Prophet.
Okay.
I struck him out high and in fastball.
Okay.
Absolute by him.
I'm joking. I know you struck out real competition. I just felt like making a joke with you.
Well, is he real competition?
Okay. Well, that's a worse look on you. So
I'm playing with him. I know he'll see this, so it'll be funny when he hears this.
But I mean, it's just cool, as you were talking about. Like, it's fun to see. Like, bat flips are cool. Pitchers having emotion is cool. Players having emotion is cool. And it's something that baseball really needs to do, especially as it's kind of recovering from, like, the, like, dying era. Because, like, it wasn't even dying. Like, a lot of people who love baseball, like, would tell you it's kind of dead as, like, a world perspective. Obviously, the sport itself is still good. Mm-hmm. But, like, it was, like, rock bottom, kind of. So, obviously, the World Series was a big help because, well, it was two of the biggest markets in the sport, which... So obviously people are going to watch. But, like, it was nice to see baseball put up good numbers again that it hadn't put up in a long time. Like, first, it was the most since 2016. So it was cool to see that, like, baseball put up those kind of numbers in the postseason, which it hadn't done in a really long time. And then also, I think the emotions are part of it. Because something that, like, the NBA does the best job of, like, marketing its stars. And I know you don't really watch basketball, but, like, the NBA as a league is kind of... like, the ratings are down a lot, but, like, the one thing that the NBA does really well is the stars are well known and really well liked. Also, a big part of it is they don't have helmets on, they don't have hats on. You can see the whole face, you can see exactly what's going on with them the whole time. So, but, like, something like Anthony Edwards is one of the most liked NBA players right now. And last year in the playoffs, he beat the Suns, who, we're getting off topic, but, like, I'll explain the tangent. He beat the Suns with Kevin Durant, who's one of the greatest players of all time, but he's now aging. He's still really good, but he's 36 years old, so, like, time's running out. But he's very good at basketball still. Anthony Edwards, game one of their playoff series versus Suns last year, hits a three in Kevin Durant's face, and then walking back on defense is, like, talking with him the whole time. Kevin Durant was not pissed. Like, he was smiling about it because he's like, kid's good at basketball. Like, he's got to the point where he's already won 2 championships. He can enjoy when a guy's good at basketball. It's like, it's cool to see. You can see what's going on. You can see the emotion. It makes him more personable, like, just to watch and more fun to watch. And that's something where, like, baseball needs to try to get there, especially with the way it's getting there, obviously. But, like, obviously there are some people who still are like I don't want to see bat flips. I don't want to see the pitchers say stuff to the batters. But, like, it's just a cool thing, and it'll also help baseball as a sport in the long run if we allow players to show emotion.
And next topic, you were talking about players talking to each other. This offseason, 2 Cy Youngs talked over messaging, and Robbie Ray, 2021 AL Cy Young winner, messaged 2024 AL Cy Young winner Tariq Skubal about a changeup. Robbie Ray has struggled with his changeup grips and stuff, and messaged Tariq Skubal and said, "Hey, I don't know if you can you send me your changeup grip? It'd be really cool and stuff." And Skubal sent him videos, pictures of the grip and help Robbie Ray over the offseason. And he's worked on throwing it, and then he threw it this spring as well. I know I like Robbie Ray. I hope he can do good.
He's trash.
He's former Cy Young winner.
He sold the Mariners in 2022, and I will never forgive him for that.
It's Yordan Alvarez.
He threw a
Pitch down the middle.
Slider directly down the pipe. First pitch. Wasn't even landing the bat. He hadn't even gotten pushed into like a 3-0 count. Had to throw a strike. First pitch, he just throws the biggest meatball of all time. Ruined the series for the first Mariners playoff appearance in 21 years. So
all right, well,
I'm never forgiving him for
all
that.
right, well, we're going to the next topic. Hall of Famers, Verlander and Scherzer debuted with their new teams. Both of them, I've already heard stories that they're helping these younger guys to learn stuff because these guys are on the back half of their career and
back just the end probably, which sucks because they're really good.
Verlander says he wants to pitch till he's 45.
And how's it now? Like 40?
42.
Okay, but still,
and he could get 300 wins. He's 38 away, I believe. So I think it is very possible he could keep pitching. And then since Scherzer and Verlander kind of have a beef, I feel like Scherzer might go as far as Verlander does. Just in spite, because if you look at their contracts, Verlander got 15 mil, Scherzer got 15.5. So, coincidence? I think that's not. I think it's Scherzer wanted to is trying to stay with Verlander.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see what they do with their new teams. Our fifth topic, Julio wants more reps. Mariners last season fired their manager, their hitting coach and stuff, and got their new hitting coach Edgar Martinez, really good guy who played for the Mariners. And in spring training, Edgar always wanted more spring training reps than most people do and I can tell you this myself, facing live BP or the spring training for them is the closest thing you'll get to real games. Not machines, not soft toss. Those help. It is facing real arms.
Yeah.
So you want to do that. And Julio always starts off not good, and then he heats up. So he wants more reps in the spring. And it's funny that it's like Edgar Martinez, who's now his hitting coach. So that could be something from that. We got next is a look for some stars this weekend who will be making debuts or new position debuts. I don't know. We'll start with Altuve. He might have already made his spring debut. I don't know. But he's making his left field debut this Friday.
What?
Because the Astros outfield is just such a struggle. The Astros have a good second base prospect, so that could be something they do.
5-6 in the outfield is really insane.
It'll be funny. And then Shohei Ohtani is making his confirmed. Obviously DH. He's not going to pitch yet. Debut for the Dodgers Friday night. It'll be 8:00 that game against the Angels, I believe, his former team. You got anything about that really?
The goat's coming back.
Altuve?
No.
Altuve is pretty good though.
Yeah.
But Ohtani, he's gonna get to face the Angels. It'll be fun. Yankees. Big news came out of Yankees camp. Their first spring training game after their game all the press had to ask all the players. It wasn't about what happened in the game. It wasn't happened over the offseason. It was what came out that same day. Yankees are now allowed to have nicely groomed beards or trimmed beards.
Yep.
And the main push for that was a guy we are familiar with, who the Cubs kind of owned, Devon Williams. As you know, he's had a beard all his Brewers tenure, and he had to shave it for the Yankees. He went up to he must have shaved, looked at himself in the mirror like, I do not like this, went to Cashman, talked to Cashman. Cashman talked with other players, and now the guys can have beards. It's 49 years. Cashman's father was the one who implemented this.
Yeah.
Or wait, no, it's not Cashman. Steinbrenner, sorry. Cashman's the GM. Steinbrenner's the owner. So we'll have to see. Aaron Judge does not plan on growing a beard, though, I've heard, sadly. So we'll have to see. I'll do it later. $1 billion is what the Dodgers have reached in defers with now. They'll have to, in 2034 and 2035, pay over $100 million to players they won't have anymore. And then obviously for like 15 years, pay $1 billion over that stretch.
Jeez.
So maybe they do good for these next 10 years. As soon as that Ohtani contract's done, maybe we see a huge downfall.
Yeah, but that would still be 20 years of dominance, which is kind of unheard of.
Yankees,
Yeah, but that was in like the
80s, 70s, something like that.
No, that was the 1920s through 40s. We haven't seen like any type of dominance like
That
I guess
long.
besides the Patriots, like in any sport.
There was a, 5-year dominance that we saw recently in baseball. The Giants won 3 World Series in 6 years.
Yeah, but I'm even just saying like regular season included.
But at the end of the
'Cause they've
day,
already
it is a World Series that you want. What
No,
you do,
I know. That's not. I'm still saying the point of them. They are in line to win the NL West for 20 straight years. Just think about that. They've already won it like 11 straight. No,
No, they haven't, because the Giants.
that's right. Okay, well they've been in the playoffs for like 12 straight
Yes,
and won the NL West all of those years except one.
except one.
They're on pace to do that for like another 10 years on top of the 12 they've already done it. So I'm saying like that type of even regular season dominance, and they already have 2 World Series during it, is unheard of.
We'll have to see what they do.
Yeah.
We'll have to see, because if Ohtani isn't pitching like he used to, it could change.
Yeah. I mean, oh no, Shohei's not pitching well. Guess what? They don't even have to throw him. They have 5 other guys.
6,
6.
7.
Yeah.
7.
They have 7 other capable guys. They're not worried about one of them struggling.
The only one that's not much of news, but just things I've heard. A lot of YouTube guys that talk about baseball and stuff are really talking about the Reds. And as a Cubs fan, I'm not liking that. I do not like this positivity that is given to these Reds.
I don't hate the Reds, but I'm not moved. So
I don't like the Reds as a Cubs fan. And since I see them as the potential biggest problem this year, I'm really not liking all this positive talk. They got new manager, Terry Francona, who's a legend kind of manager.
Yeah, very good manager.
At this point. Along with Matt McClain coming back. Their only loss was Jonathan India.
And he was okay.
So, it's just, I don't like it. I'm hoping they don't do good. But Terry Francona could just carry this, and it could end up the Cubs dealing with the Reds instead of the Brewers. Our last topic, MLB and ESPN broke off their contract together.
I'm happy about this because I do not like the ESPN commentators that much. I think during the postseason it's not bad because they bring in like other guys.
Mm-hmm.
So like Michael K Michael K does it. The Yankees announcer, their like TV announcer does it. And he's a good commentator. I forgot the guy's
Doesn't
name.
Boog?
Boog
go?
does it, and Boog's a good commentator. And then
They'll get they got
It's-
Correa one year, didn't they?
well, I'm saying like the play-by-play guys. It's the guy who commentates for the Blue Jays. And then he also does ESPN.
I'm not gonna.
ESPN college basketball, and he's a really good commentator.
Not gonna know off the top of my head.
I'm looking it up real quick.
But,
Dan Schulman will do it, I think.
Wow. But
Yeah, so Dan Schulman's a really good commentator. But the guy who does ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, I do not like. Him or the color commentator. I really liked when it was Matt Vescursion and Alex Rodriguez. I know a lot of people didn't like Alex Rodriguez, but like he was entertaining.
he'll still come on every once in a while.
He does the postseason. He's either Boog's or Michael K's color commentator during the playoffs, but he only does like the playoffs when they have to cover multiple games. So because they only cover one a week. This year they're bringing back Joe Buck is supposedly commentating baseball again, and he's a really good commentator, and he's really good for baseball too. So I'm happy about that, and he works for ESPN for football, so that means he'd have to do their Sunday Night Baseball.
Yeah.
In that case, then I would be upset that MLB is leaving ESPN.
It's just
because ESPN sucks at covering baseball. They're really bad at it.
they only do Sunday. It's one game Sunday. That's it. They don't cover any other day of the week. Nothing else.
Well, yeah, and I mean, TBS and TNT have games, and then
I know,
they're
but
only
like
once a week though.
ESPN it's ESPN.
Well,
Like
okay,
you
yeah.
should be covering baseball, one of the top 4 sports, more than once.
Okay, you gotta
week,
think they only
once a day.
You gotta think they cover football once a week for the most part, maybe twice, but it's on the same night.
But at the same time,
There's
that's
less games, but
football.
that is the most watched sport in America.
Yes, I'm not hating on football, but I'm saying football's different than baseball. Baseball, you have games every day. Every day you have games. You have big games every day.
Yes, but that's why they do. I do like that they do Sunday Night Baseball because they will usually do the best series of the weekend, and then they get to do the end of the series. Brendan, do you have anything to share back there? You're looking like you have some things to say back there.
Devin all week has been like saying, "Oh, spring training is like a big game."
He's
And
not
then,
saying
like,
spring training. He's saying baseball as a whole. Like he's saying, ESPN should cover more than one game a week in the regular season.
Oh yeah, 100. Well, yeah, there's 30 MLB teams and like half of them play every day, like every other day. Like there's at least like how many? 15,
Yeah.
sometimes more, every single day.
But you got to think. So TBS does Tuesday. Fox does Saturday. Apple TV does Friday.
Okay, Monday Night Baseball.
Monday night they can't do because once you hit September, the NFL's on. And then Wednesday they have to overlap with the NBA for. Oh no, they don't.
But that's why they're canceling the contract, because they're not focused on baseball.
Well, they overlap.
So it's a waste
they
of money.
overlap with the NBA for a month.
And then I have
And
the
then
schedule.
and then Thursday they don't do Thursday because Thursday Night Football's a thing, so they're not going to try to compete with another sport on national TV.
I have the schedule. Also, by the way, when football starts, they're done. By the way, their last game is August
Really?
17th. So they're focusing.
Is that the last scheduled game, or were they actually done? Because
That from this night, Sunday Night Baseball 2025 schedule that I'm seeing, it stops August 17th.
does it? Because I'd assume that they just don't have it yet, and they like start choosing games once we get later in the season to be like.
Maybe.
Football won't have started yet.
I don't know.
Football won't have started yet.
We'll see, but like, there's some good series, I guess, but there's a Cardinals Red Sox, April 6th.
Brands, yeah. So Fenway, is it at Fenway?
Maybe.
Because that would be part of it. They even in the sports they cover, they only do like major markets. So that's just a problem with national TV as a whole.
Phillies Guardians.
2
at
playoff.
Cleveland.
It's 2 playoff teams. Why are you complaining about that? You're a baseball fan.
I'm just saying, are those the primetime games at that time? Like, is that is that the series you want to highlight on Sunday, May 11th?
Do you not? Okay. Also, that's a good thing because Cleveland does not get a lot of national televised games.
Yes.
Because Fox is going to do the Dodgers all year.
Dodgers get 3, 4.
Okay,
Dodgers
yeah.
have 4.
The Padres, Dodgers, and Yankees are going to be on it all year, so it's nice to see a change of pace where the Guardians get on. They're a playoff team who doesn't get any coverage. That's a good thing.
Also, I didn't know this. The Little League Classic is what they do.
Yeah.
I didn't know the 2 teams, Seattle and Mets. That'll be a really entertaining time for a Little League Classic. When you got like Soto and Julio are like top guys, you get to see them with all the Little Leagues. You get to have those custom bats and everything. Cause wasn't that the Tigers Yankees last year?
Yeah.
And that's the Tigers turnaround right there. Was pretty much started with that game, the comeback at the end that the Tigers made. That kind of changed the season for the Tigers. So it was really fun. We'll see what the Mariners and Mets can do.
Yeah, so I was just saying, like, but as far as, like, okay, it's hard because TBS has Tuesdays, Apple TV has Fridays, and, what's it called? Fox has Saturdays. So you can't cover on those days because you're not going to overlap on, like, with national TV. The only sport they do that for is football, but that's only because they play 1 day a week. So you like the 2 things are going to have to. But like Mondays you can't do because of football. Wednesdays they can't do because of basketball earlier in the season. And then Thursdays, I would assume because it's because of football, they don't want to have to compete with national TV with football.
Yeah.
So that's also the problem.
And then last, we got injuries around the league. I don't know if Brendan, you want to start coming over here, talk about injuries around the league that are happening? Okay.
Which is muted.
So
yeah, just start spitballing names.
For Cubs, I know for Shaw and Nico and Assad are like the 3 guys. Dustin May got emotional on the mound because he's back from injury. He hasn't pitched like 650 days for
Did you hear the
Dodgers.
injury he had last year?
Piece of lettuce.
Yeah, it cut his throat and almost killed him.
Yeah,
Dusty May's a dog.
he is. And it's awesome. He has great stuff. So I really hope he's...
He might be like my favorite pitcher to use in MLB The Show. Like ever.
Not Jacob DeGrom.
Him and Johnny Cueto.
Okay.
He just likes the funky guys.
Thank God I've never played MLB The Show with you.
You will.
Yeah.
You not use Yuri Perez in MLB The Show 21?
It's Edward Cabrera, not Yuri
Johnny
Perez.
Cueto.
Good point. It is Edward Cabrera. You didn't use Edward Cabrera? Stop. You didn't use the 94 best card in the game.
That is the best.
Johnny Cueto.
You know what? Mute your mic. I'm done with
mute
you.
the mic. Yeah, we're done. You gross. Disgusting. In MLB
This
The
is-
Show? What is wrong with you? Get to the major injuries.
Major injuries. I mean, Tucker is now going to be playing again because he was injured for most of last year. So we'll have to see what he can start doing. Brown is on an innings limit. I have the whole league stuff. Spencer Strider and Acuna
Yeah.
are
Recovering.
We'll see what they come back as. Felix Bautista should be back this year. The Mountain. Hopefully he's going to be good.
Yeah.
Back to his closing top status. Lucas Giolito had Tommy John. He's looking to be back. What was that?
He's not good anymore, so I'm not really worried about it.
Devers is having a bit of shoulder problems. Hopefully he's back March 5th. is what's projected. The Guardians, John Means, is Tommy John. We'll see. He might come back in like August, possibly. Shane Bieber threw off the mound Saturday, so he's looking to be back hopefully around July. Baez is going his hip. He's going through drills and should be ready by opening day. See what he's able to do. Lance McCullers Jr. He's cleared for BP live BP, and is going through bullpen stuff. Luis Garcia threw a bullpen the other day. Christian Javier, he's looking to return around the All-Star break. So we'll see how those guys are. Kyle Wright is dealing with hamstring strain. He was a trade from the Braves. He was pretty good with them. Zach Neto began throwing Monday. Kenley Jansen, apparently he's having a bit of shoulder problems. He's just day-to-day. Bobby Miller, in I think the first game of spring training, took a 105-mile-an-hour line drive. And this not Bush's fault. Like, as a baseball player,
It happens.
and like you're told hit it right back at the pitcher. Like that is the goal of baseball, pretty much, and that's what like
It's
you're
not. You can't intentionally hit a ball at somebody.
no. The thought process and what you're told as
You
a
wanna hit it
player
straight,
is
yeah.
hit it right back at the pitcher. Hit it right back where it came from, because if you hit it right back up the middle,
There's nobody there.
there's no one there.
I'm
So
just saying,
that's
like,
the philosophy. Is just hit it right back
not
at them.
intentionally. You can't.
But yeah,
choicefully
that's
hit 'em.
not. It's just that's kind of the
Major
philosophy.
league
It's
pitch
just
at a guy.
unfortunately, Bush hit 105 right back at him and actually hit him.
Yeah.
Hit him in the forehead, and after you could see it, he walked off on his own power, but he had like a welt or I don't know, a bruise like size like a golf ball.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's back. Evan Phillips, Bruce Argerall, Michael Kopech, Lane Kershaw are all hoping to be back around March, May, and April. We know Christian Yelich took batting practice. He's coming off a back injury. Brandon Woodruff will face hitters Friday. He should be back in around May. Frankie Montas, Sean Manaea are both down. Hopefully they can get healthy soon because the Mets kind of need them.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that is. New York Yankees, Scott F. Frost is injured again. We know him from, as Cubs fans, he was a former Cub. Stanton is back to New York for testing. He has double tennis elbow, or he has a tennis elbow in both of his elbows. See how he can do. Bryce Harper got hit by a pitch the other day. Bruised tricep, but he should be fine.
Yeah.
It's Bryce Harper. He's I think the fastest guy to cover from Tommy John in baseball. Hit by pitch isn't going to do anything. Spencer Horwitz is beginning to take two-handed dry swings later this week. He had a wrist injury. And he was like the big move of the Pirates, and they knew he was injured, and now he isn't expected to be back till about April, end of April. So it's a iffy's decision by the Pirates to trade away a guy who had high potential to the Guardians for him. So we'll see. Tatis is expected to be back Wednesday. He had the flu that was going around and stuff. And see how that goes. Matt Brash threw a light bullpen. He's expected to be back in mid-April. He's a top guy who can throw really well. And I think that's just about it. That's pretty much it for the show. We got really nice working graphics, all of that stuff. Stay tuned. We're going to go to to the Blitz, I believe. Are we going to do like a shorter talk show just about the combine? To be determined. But we hoped today was better than what we've done in the past. Got graphics, show you kind of what's going on, and we'll have you more graphics next week. I was a bit busy this morning having to finish a test in a class, so I ran a little late. Johnny and Brendan, though, were good help already getting stuff set up. Big thanks to Brendan, our producer. My name is Devon Alsman.
I'm Johnny Clumpy.
And that was Tone the Rubber. Who knows what episode?
Yep.